I preach a lot that everybody's heart is different, and I don't expect people to do any huge big challenges. Just do what pushes you and makes you feel good, and just find what your passions are and what makes you happy, and then just go do that. You just got to show up consistently and have fun with it. Surround yourself with great people, great coaches. Do it for the camaraderie and community of it. But yeah, just show up because you love it. Don't try to force it. Great question. I have no desire to climb Everest. This is something that I don't understand. If my chances of death is above a certain percentage, like that's a hard pass. I'm out. And Everest seems to be one of those things like, oh, you can die. And your chances are X, and that X is pretty high, and then I'm like, I'm not going to climb Everest. Longest I've spent in a saddle. We just broke the Uberman course record. We did 385 miles straight, so that would be the longest distance I've sat in a saddle. Training app, super excited about it. We've been working on it for over a year. We're going to beta test it on December 1st. Full launch both for the fitness app and the triathlon training on January 1, 2021. And so super pumped about that. Yeah, love Eco Challenge. What an experience. If you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon Prime, 10 episodes, Mark Burnett production, Bear Grylls is the host, 67 teams from 30 countries around the world. It was kind of like a transformational experience for me. They've announced season 2, which is in Patagonia. But because of all of this COVID stuff that's going on, it's been like postponed somewhat indefinitely until we can turn the corner. I hope November, which is kind of what they're saying right now, will be the next Eco Challenge. And I hope that we get selected to race it. I'd be honored to do round 2. Man, injury and sickness is obviously rampant right now. Injury to me is totally avoidable. I think following the proper training program, knowing your body, and doing a lot of little things to avoid injury. And it just comes with experience. A lot of people go from couch to Ironman, and that's a great recipe for injury. Our training philosophy is SOAR. How high can you soar? Stress, optimize, adapt, and recover. That recovery is a big piece of our training. Yeah, and there's just going to be days where you don't feel like you want to do it, and you feel a little bit under the weather and whatnot. It's okay to take an off day. Nobody's going to be perfect with their training schedule. Life happens. And as long as you're not using it as an excuse. And sometimes even when especially when I don't feel like it, not feeling under the weather, but I don't feel like it, those are the most important days to show up. Yes, I actually do use CBD. I've been experimenting with a bunch of different companies, and I've started to use Champions and Legends CBD exclusively. We're actually going to do an entire series on their product line. They do a before and after. And I love that finally a company is coming out there and wanting to educate people about what CBD is. And so they've got a great program, and I'm going to help try to learn as much as I can, and then also bring everybody else up to speed that maybe is curious about it or wants to know more about it. Well, there's the problem right there, is you're riding every single day. And really, if we're being honest, like the body needs recovery days. That's when you adapt to the stress. And then just going out and riding means you're just exercising, which is fantastic. But if you're training for something, you're going to plateau. There's got to be variety in your training. You have to be training with a purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing on your ride? And again, if you're just riding to ride, great. You may never get better. You may just plateau. So you need to look at why you're training or why you're riding, and then what you're doing inside of each one of those training sessions. Right now, my favorite recovery tour is the hyperbaric chamber that I got. The scientific benefits to it are crazy. And like I said in episode 1, we kind of go over what the hyperbaric chamber does, but it's a fantastic excuse to take a nap. I always tell myself I'm going to do work and stuff in there because there's plenty of room, but every time, lights out. My username on Zwift is Iron Cowboy James, or some type of James Lawrence Iron Cowboy, James Iron Cowboy, any of those variations. We'll look it up and post it on the screen. This is actually a great question. You know, a lot of people try to get sponsors, and they go to a sponsor, and the first thing they do is say, give me this, right? And they think that they are going to provide value in some way. And in my opinion, the sponsorship landscape has totally changed. There's 2 categories. Kind of your mommy blogger that has 1 million followers, and then a Conor McGregor or Dwayne Johnson or a LeBron James. those are kind of your two categories, and everybody else is lost in the middle. My best advice to you is provide as much value as you can and show that sponsor that you are loyal, that you actually like their product, and then create a relationship, create trust. Worst thing you can do is just go to a company and give me this without building a relationship. I love Under Armour. They say, if you're big enough, we'll find you. Just be so spectacular in your life that a sponsor cannot deny your greatness. And until that moment, just keep working hard and grinding, because companies literally hire people to read the incoming sponsorship email requests to say no. That's what and who you're competing against. A company has to hire an individual just to answer these emails. So again, be so spectacular that you cannot be denied. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the behind the scenes journey, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you want to get notified when new episodes are coming, turn on your notifications. If you want somebody else to enjoy the journey, tell a friend about it. We'd really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.